Trending news. There is too much trouble in Igbo land. We must rise up to defend our land from enemies within. What happened to the land that once produced M.I. Okpara and Okano Ibiam? Igbo might be an illusion if we can't take care of the saboteurs in Igbo land. There is too much trouble in this land. We must rise up to defend our land from the enemies within. What happens to the land that once produced M.I. Okpara and Akanu Abiam? How did we substitute Michael Okpara's foresight with Okezie Ikpeazu's debauchery? How did Imo fall from Olympia height set by the Sam Mbakwe to the idiocy of Rochas Okorocha? Why are Igbo leaders wicked to the land? Why does selfishness always override the interest of the general republic? Why did Rochas Okorocha turn against the very people that braves all odds, fight monsters, and split to elect him in 2011? How did a US-trained medical officers become so rustic that he elected to roll with cultists, criminals, and armed robbers than seek the company of wise men in leading the state? Why or where did Chimoroke Nnamani lost it? Ikedi Uwakim was a humble man who never imagined he would one day smell the governor's office at Owerri. Then, fortune, however, thrust him to the pinnacle of power in its own state. This little-known fellow suddenly became an imperial and began to oppress hardworking men and women in Imo State. How about Chinweoke Mbadinuju? Was he charmed by some cosmic forces that he saw no sense in being sensible as a governor? Abia today is like a wasteland. Pensioners have not been paid in more than 2 years now. Civil servants are dying of hunger, and the youths cannot find labor for their lands. They cannot find labors for their hands. They can't eat. They can't struggle, can't go to farms anymore. How were Zeke, vision, and wisdom succeeded by the love of sycophancy that has been the hallmark of governance in Ifeanyi, Ugwanyi, Enugu? There are no fully functional general hospitals in all of Igbo land, and what we have as public schools, especially in Abia and Imo State, are legalized centers for exam malpractices and other forms of immorality and drug abuse. In much of these schools, you will hardly find any serious teaching and learning going on. The biggest enemies of Igbo today are the Yahoo politicians in the land. Why do we have characters like Ikpeazu, Ugwanyi, and Obiano as governors, while Oyo and Seyi Makinde, who is doing everything possible to reposition Oyo State for glory? In 10 years' time, their lunatics will look at the giant stride made in Oyo and blame Awolowo for starving our children during the Biafran War. In Unizik, ABSU, and several other universities in Igbo land. Vice Chancellor trained without public funds are doing everything to frustrate people from disadvantaged economic backgrounds from acquiring university education, and yet we say nothing about those. What future awaits a land whose education is in shambles? It is unfortunate that many commentators are not paying necessary attention to this because they are largely on the payroll of our enemies. Do you wonder why you have more Igbo Agbarus in Lagos and Abuja than those from other tribes? Well, no prize for guessing. The answer is simple. We have Ikpeazu, Ugwuanyi, and Obiano as governors, men who have no clue about progress. They have no clue about progress governance. Why do we prefer cheats, riffraffs, 419s, people who we know are early morning drunks, old men who run after teenagers? They run after teenage girls and men who have no integrity as governors. Yet, when our land is overtaken by the economic plague of poverty, joblessness, terrorism, and diseases, we prefer to blame Awolowo, who died years ago, or abuse Azikiwe for not doing what a George Washington would have done. Wow. Viewers, I'm so short of words. I think with this word, these people will be encouraged. Biafrans and the land of the Igbos will now be encouraged. Look at what is happening. Igbo land, they are in trouble because of these people, these governors. That what they know is their own selfish thing, selfish behavior. They don't care about others. They don't know what others are feeling. What they know is for them to have to be convenient and comfortable wherever they are. They don't care what others feed with. They don't care what happens to others. Imagine Nemat Pharmaceutical and others belong to Uwambawa. The Sun newspaper belong to Oji Uzo and Oats on their companies in Lagos owned by Igbos. But no work in Igbo land go to Agbara and see for yourself. There's no work in Igbo land. But when you go to Agbara, you see for yourself. 70% of industries belong to Igbos. It's a pity that the Igbo is in problem, that they have been in problem since 1990s. That is it. So, deliverance is around the corner. We should not let our heart be troubled. Let the night, when the night is dark, the daylight is in view. Until we fight our Igbo leaders to come and give account of how they spent our money, our 419 leaders will never wake up to the reality. The massive loot in the government house is getting out of hands. We must come out and say no to bad governance. How on earth did Imo State get into the hands of a criminal, 419 kidnapper, in the person of Hope Uzodinma? So in the next 8 years, Imo will remain dead. What a pity. What a pity. If Uzodinma has an hidden agenda for the people of Imo State, I know that God will definitely take that off his mind. He will never have that mind of duping or making Imo suffer. That is why Imos, they know what they can do. That's why they campaign. They organize a protest that Uzodinma will never be the governor. But Emeka Ihedioha, they knew what Uzodinma would do to them in future. They are used to Emeka because Emeka is always nice to them. Emeka is a good person. He's a competent leader. They have never once complained about him. That's why they protested for him that Hope can never be the governor of that state, of the Imo state. Some leaders are senseless, or they don't understand before saying anything. What they just wish to say anything they like and do whatever they like. They don't care about others. They don't care about others. That is it. I'm not against any opinion of anybody as regard to the Southeastern. The so-called leaders, it is just a case of Ketu calling pot black. Finally, Igbo land is a land of future. The future land giants and champions. So let us put our house in order, because no matter part of Nigeria is better than the Southeast. So let us not be emotional and dampen the Nnewi spirits. Viewers, what is your take on this? Drop your comment below. Your comment is highly needed. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive notifications whenever I publish any new video. And don't forget, share and like this news as well. Thank you as you do. Have a wonderful day.